Hello, welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Alyssa and today we have an update for the project Deck of Panning. Deck of Panning is a project that was started by Emily of Emily and Max here on YouTube, and she was inspired by a book version of it from Books with Maddie. So the idea is you use a deck of cards and each card has a different prompt assigned to it. The board is updated each month by Emily, and then we're picking different makeup products or skincare or things like that to pan and use and enjoy. So the way I do it is I always roll in at least 5 prompts, even if I have things that are not finished, which, minor spoiler, I have something that is not completed for one of the prompts. So there will be 6 prompts at least going on, because there's also one that makes you add on an extra prompt. So there's that. But yeah, it should be fun. And also this time I have, I was surprised I have both jokers in, but they're like in together. So I'm gonna shuffle this a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna first talk about what I was working on. So and I will have pictures up. The first thing was actually from the previous month, and I'm just shuffling here. Maybe here, if you do enjoy watching someone just randomly shuffle, you can see that. So the Crystallized palette was my newest palette. And so for the prompt right now, that seemed really appropriate that I wanted to be working on it right now. And so I always have a goal for all new eyeshadow to use them 5 times each. Not like the palette, just every single shade in there 5 times each before, either moving it from my makeup bag, taking a break from it, or, doing that kind of thing. And so last time I was very close, and now I have, in fact, sorry if things look different. I was trying to clean off my camera lens there. So for the first shade, I used it 10 times. The next one was 8, 7, 5, 7, 6, 10, 7, 6, 6, 8, 6. And that one I actually hit pan on with that 6th use. So that's a little bit unfortunate since the palette is new and I'd only used it 6 times. Then I have 5, 5, 5, 7, 6, 7, 7, 7. Now I want to say let's go, like the Bruno song or Silk Sonic song. But so yeah, I had put it back, after the 5 uses, but then I have brought it out at least 2 more times, I think, since then. And I can see it over there just sitting in my makeup bag, and I could put it away. Oh, I'm actually using it today because I saw someone on Instagram use this eyeshadow and I was inspired to use it all over my lid like they did. And so that is what brought us this look. So now back to the other prompts. I had to use a primer. So I did one of my eye primers to use it 10 times. I did. Actually, I was really enjoying it. And I haven't really been using my NYX glitter primer, partly because I'm not sure if it's part of what makes my eyes water. Like, my eyes water, and I assume it's allergies, which, I mean, it could still be some sort of allergy thing, but they haven't been watering much. And I was sort of wondering if there's like certain eyeshadows that are doing it or other things. And so for now, I've just been using my one Wet n Wild primer. And then if I'm doing a glitter primer, I've been doing the epoxy one that I was just doing. So yeah, and I've been working through a bunch of different eyeshadow palettes and singles and all that and not having issues. So it's like, okay, then maybe it's not the eyeshadows and maybe it could be that primer. So I need to force myself to use the NYX glitter primer to test that out, but I also don't want to, because when do you want a day that your eye is watering all day? So we'll see. Because I'd also thought about, is it when I change my makeup? Like if I do my makeup at one point in the day and then wash it off and do something else. But I did that at least once and it was fine. So it's not necessarily that either. But in the 10 uses, I used 1/1500ths of a gram. There's not a ton left. I would consider repurchasing it, especially since I've been liking it. It's not great for preventing creasing. If an eyeshadow is prone to that, it's likely still going to happen. But it does make the sparkles stay more on my eyes than if I don't, and it can make them go on nicely and things like that. So, and it doesn't get as, I feel like sometimes the NYX glitter primer can make things more of a thick layer and not be like, this is just so thin and it makes the shimmers go on more thin. All right, then for originally I rolled in Broken. This was a whole mess of a thing, and then I didn't have anything broken, and I decided to go with Cool Tone, and so I wanted to finish my So Obsessed lipstick. I am so close, but it is not done, so it will be rolling on, but I think that's okay. It's just a goal anyway that I wanted to be finishing different lip products this year, so, you know, it's fine.
I realized I forgot to film. I also had discontinued. I brought in my Juvia's Place blush and I wanted to use it 10 times. When I was using it near the start, I realized that it's just way too orange for me and it's not a flattering look on my skin tone and I wasn't a fan. And so instead of, you know, hate panning, I have been using it in this Franken blush. I have it mixed with my Urban Decay blush and a face powder. I actually have a video where I show myself making it. And you can see there's not a lot left of the Franken blush. It had filled this pan when I first made it. And so the 10 uses was not a big deal. It's a favorite blush right now to be using. So I do plan on making more of it and, you know, using the same blushes and all again. But I am trying to work on hitting pan on a different blush before I do that. But yeah, I was still glad though to have the chance to try the blush on its own and realize that, you know, at this point in time anyway, it's not a blush that I want to wear as it is, but it's great for mixing with other products.
For the Black Indigenous Person of Color brand, or owned makeup brand, however you want to think of that, I rolled in from Colored Rain my Vivid Pigments palette, and I wanted to use every shade at least once, and so I did do that. I know that's not a huge task just to use everything once, at least it's not for me, but they are all like distinctive shades. They don't necessarily work together because it's a rainbow palette, but I wanted to see how some of the eyeshadows are working, if they are still good. So I will say from the last, I almost said episode, the last video, I don't know, of this series, whatever, I guess kind of an episode, to now, I have decluttered 2 of the eyeshadows because they are not working well anymore. But, you know, that's all kind of part of doing panning, is trying to use things before they go bad, but also taking note of if things are not working well anymore. And then my final prompt was for Out of Control. Again, it's always eyeshadow for me or lips. So I pulled in to do my Juicy Boost palette. So I'm trying to use all of my eyeshadows 10 times each. And so this palette, I still had some shades that were not there yet. And I wanted just to go ahead and finish it up. And so I did do that. Everything is now 10 uses. So that was good. So now I am going to use the cards, draw 5 of them, and see what prompts I will be working on for this next month. So I do have a different board than last month, but I feel like this might have been, I think I might be off by a word. Like this might have actually been for February or for this into March type of thing, like, you know, for this update. And I figure it doesn't really matter. It just means that if you're looking at my board compared to other people who are doing this project, then you might see different things. That's why. Okay, I think, because at some point, I don't know, like I thought it was updated, but I don't know. Maybe I looked at it too early. And so it was different from what I had seen. So I just am going off of, if it looks different from my board that I had just been doing, then I'm going to count it as a new one for me. And it might just mean that, you know, at the end of the year, I have an extra board I can work on if I want. All right, so we have Ace of Spades, or Black Ace, which is plan to pan. So I want to kind of work off of my goals to pick something. So I definitely have a bunch of goals this year. Then we have 4 of Spades, which is bronzer. I think that might I don't know. I have two options I'm thinking of. Then we have, another black ace. So another goal, another plan to pan. Well, maybe I'll do one is eyes and one is lips or something. Make sure I'm not trying too many. 2 of diamonds matches eye color. Brown. Oh. But you know what? Sometimes my brown is shifting. Maybe I can like pick a shifty, like a brown base duochrome or something. All right, we'll see. And then, all right, I am marked safe from the jokers. I have 9 of hearts. Fantasy self. Oh, I have thoughts on that too. Okay, so because that's the whole, like, if there's makeup that you get and you think you're going to wear, but really it's your fantasy self, not your everyday self. So kind of stretching myself with this prompt. And out of curiosity, where were the jokers? Oh, they were like really far. There's one there. And then, and there's the other one. So I would have had to be pulling lots of prompts in order to get them. All right, let me go ahead and pick my items and I'll come back. Okay, I picked my items and I feel pretty good about them. I feel like they will help me, towards my goals and all that I have for this year. So one thing I was thinking about, actually 2 things are the first 2 on the list here, or 3, 4. All of them have been things that I've been thinking about, so it's all good. So for Plan to Pan, the first one that I got, I am going to work on my Milani lip liner. I'm going to use it 15 times is my goal, and the thought is I am trying to finish this off, so I don't know if 15 uses will get me there. I feel like it'll probably take longer, but I don't know. I figure, it's a neutral brown, so why not, go ahead and see, what we get here, okay? So we're gonna work on that. Then for bronzer, I was going between, I've been using this one eyeshadow as bronzer, but I was also debating frankening my bronzer again, because I technically have this bronzer, but I've never been able to enjoy it as is. I always have to franken it. So I was like, well, yeah, I probably should, because the eyeshadow is old. I actually don't want to tilt this too much because it'll make a mess. But this is only supposed to have a shelf life of, 6 months or 9 months? 6 months, which it's beyond that now. So I am going to mix this with an eyeshadow, some sort of blue-ish eyeshadow. That's what I've been doing. And I will put it in here, and that will be my bronzer, and I'm going to use it 20 times, assuming that I make enough for 20 times. Usually I do. And then another Plan to Pan that I'd been thinking of was, along with my finishing eyeshadows, I've been thinking about trying to finish this eyeshadow, which is Halley's Comet from Terra Moons. So I have that I want to use it 10 times. I was thinking about making it that I have to finish it, but I don't know if, I will be able to finish it with 10 uses. I don't know how long it'll be. Sometimes eyeshadows surprise me, and I don't necessarily want this in forever. So 10 uses I think will be good. Now, I will say that I already have used it 9 times in my All Eyeshadows on Deck project. So that means that, I only need 1 more use for that. So I am going to be marking it here separately from that because I will go beyond my grid. But, it's not just about using the eyeshadows 10 times. It's also about being able to finish them off. And this is one of the ones that's closest to being finished off. So, while it's still working well, I'd like to make the most of that. For eye color, something else I've been thinking about is I have so many neutral singles from Sydney Grace, and a lot of them are very similar to each other, and I'm just kind of making my way through I already did the blacks, and I've been doing the dark browns and all because I can use them as liner, things like that. So I'm going to pull in this brown, which is just shade number 5. Yeah, I did write that. I've used it once in my All Eyeshadows on Deck project, and so my goal is just to use it the remaining 9 times to finish off the 10 uses. And then, it means that I will be moving on to a different brown, that kind of thing. And so this one, it's a little late to use in my eyebrows, so maybe not, but I don't know. I'll play with it. I will use it. It's only 9 uses. And then finally for Fantasy Self, I actually went with another eyeshadow. because again, it's like I have these different eyeshadows and they're just there, and it's like, am I actually enjoying these? So I was looking at this one row in particular, which is dark shimmers, because maybe my fantasy self is like, oh yeah, I can totally do all these things with them, but I don't know if I need all of them. I don't know if they're all serving me. This one in particular, so this is shade 43. This one I've actually put in like BYOPs and stuff before, and you know, I have used it, and it's like, it's metallic, but also kind of like, so it's like this neutral, but with like this sort of pink kind of shift almost with it, but it's still very neutral. And so, you know, am I actually enjoying this one? Is it one that I should keep and continue using and, you know, spend time on? So, you know, it's like, it's pretty when I look at it, but is it something that is the type of pretty I want to wear? Or is that just fantasy neutral me? I know for some people this might be more fantasy self type of makeup, but for me, this is like fantasy self. Like, oh yeah, for like, I'm gonna totally wear a neutral eye and like a bold lip, and yeah, I don't do that. So that's what I have. I feel like this has turned into a long update, but hopefully you enjoyed watching it. Thank you for doing so. And until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well. I hope you'll check out the other people doing Deck of Panning, and I'll see you then. Bye!